in-depth coverage of the Orlando nightclub massacre continues now. Joining us live in studio this morning is Congressman David Cicilline. And Congressman, certainly I would imagine your initial thoughts, just complete horror by what happened in Florida.
Yeah, I mean, I think like all Rhode Islanders, like everyone in this country, this is really a horrifying massacre. It's incredibly disgusting and sort of sickening when you think of this many people being killed, 50 people killed, 53 injured, in a place of sanctuary, a place that people go to connect with their community, to enjoy the company of each other, a place they felt was really safe. It's horrifying.
You and I were talking off camera a minute ago about your congressional colleagues in Florida. Obviously, they were tied up yesterday with the investigation and dealing with what they had to deal with. But today you go back into session. Will you likely see some of them in Washington today?
Yeah, absolutely. I think I'll see many of my colleagues. And I hope that everyone comes back to Washington with a commitment to do something, to respond to this. You know, every time we have a tragedy like this, everyone kind of wrings their hands and sends thoughts and prayers. It's time for us to take action instead of moments of silence, but to actually do something.
Well, let's talk about that a little bit. I mean, you've been calling for stricter gun control, including a renewal of the assault weapons ban. This is now the deadliest mass shooting in history. What do you think it's going to take for people to really take some action here?
Yeah, I mean, it is hard to believe that we still have not moved forward on common sense gun safety proposals. I introduced in December of last year the assault weapons ban of 2015. If that ban were in place, this individual would not have been able to buy that assault weapon. There's a study that was recently done. More than 50% of the mass shootings in this country that killed 4 or more people involved an assault weapon or high-capacity magazine. We can at least reduce the likelihood that people will become victims of this kind of killing. And assault weapons are weapons of war that were created for combat. They don't belong in the neighborhoods of our communities. They belong on a battlefield.
Who needs an assault rifle?
Yeah.
Who has the need to access an assault rifle?
And
Tell me,
yeah,
who does?
No one. That's the point. And these are weapons whose sole purpose it is to kill as many people as quickly as you can. If that person had a gun that only had 9 rounds, they would have been forced to reload, and there would have been an opportunity to stop the shooter. But this is just a killing spree, and I don't know what it will take. We saw children in Sandy Hook. We saw a colleague of ours shot in the head. We've seen San Bernardino, Aurora, Umpqua Community College. It's like, you know, we have a gun violence epidemic in this country, and people who stand in the way of common sense gun safety legislation should be held accountable in November.
Well, we'll see what happens. But before we let you go, any concerns about Pride Week here in Providence? I know there are events planned, and we talked a little bit about increased security.
Yeah, I'm certain that the state police and the local police department will, as they always do, have a plan in place to be sure that it's a safe weekend, and I have every confidence they'll be successful in that regard.
All right, Congressman David Cicilline, certainly a lot to talk about, and we'll be speaking with you in the days ahead. We appreciate you joining us today, and you can find this full interview and continuing coverage of the Orlando nightclub massacre on our website. Of course, updates throughout the day on the investigation as well online.